GamingCS here with another knife review. This is of the Buck Strider 889. Now, a couple years ago, I believe around '07, Nick Strider came over to Buck and said, "Hey, I want to make a more cheaper, affordable version of my knife, and I want to mass produce them and sell them, and I want to do it for you guys." And Buck said, "Yeah, we'll use all our machines and do all that jazz." So this is pretty much their brainchild, or one of 4 models I know of. Like I said, this is the model 889. This is a imitation of the Strider SMF, the older SMF, yeah. It's a really great knife. The design is, exactly the same. The materials and the fit and finish are a smidge different, but I believe that's about it for this knife. It really is a great knife. So we'll get started on general stuff like construction. It has a glass reinforced nylon scales for this plastic scales with very aggressive texturing. Think cold steel aggressive. So basically it's an FRN, but it's really durable and it's really great and a very nice feel to it. And I mean, you get a lot of grip out of this stuff, almost to the point of tearing up your pockets. Excuse me. It is pin construction, so that's one of the ways they try to pinch pennies on this knife to keep it below the $400 mark that Striders normally are. So you cannot take this knife apart, but it is a flow-through design, as you can see in there. So if you get guts and gore, whatever you have, you can clean it out that way, which is very handy. The jimping on the spine right here is pretty thick. Same with the blade. It has jimping all the way along until it hits to the bottom of the tang. So you get a nice row of jimping all the way here. It's about a 2.5-inch strip. So you really get to lock your hand in on that. It has steel liners, solid steel liners, no milling this time, which is really nice. They're a little bit thin. But I believe that, they're the same thickness as the Kershaw Needs Work. Yeah, same thickness, same as the Buck Vantage Pro. So far as I can tell, they're basically the same. It really is the same thickness. You can't really see it too well. The light is not the best. Those liners right there. They do look very thin, but they hold up. So it's not something I would worry about. I would have preferred a frame lock, most definitely. But, to pinch pennies, like I said, when these were out in production, these sold for about $40–50. So, taking a $350 knife design and bumping that down to $300, it's gonna do a lot. So I like it. It works. It's functional. You can, of course, adjust the pivot, which is very fantastic. It does use number 5 Torx. You can see my pivot pin's kind of stripped and used and worn right there. Has phosphorus bronze washers. That washer is gigantic. Let me get a better view of that. If you can see that space right there, that's one washer. One giant washer. It's ridiculous. The other side has like a normal, I'm not sure what the size of those washers are, but it has like the normal size. Something, it's still pretty thick. It's smaller than the ones you would find on like the Tenacious and the Cara 2, but it's something more along the lines you would find the Buck Vantage Pro or the Vantage series, which is nice. A good thick stability for this knife blade. The design is really great. The handle and the ergonomics are phenomenal. It fits right in with just the handle by itself, even if you're not choking up with these huge double choils. Just this grip, it fits better with this grip than it does choking up on it, because it has this nice angle that fits in right underneath your palm, and it fits right in that little corner. It digs in, and it fits perfectly. And for a saber grip, it's phenomenal. Reverse grip, not so much. I'm not in preference of it, but I can see it. It's functional. I don't care for a saber grip too much, or excuse me, reverse grip or ice pick grip as much. What I do like is choking up on the knife. And I could really do that with a nice knife. I used to do that, or I still do that a lot with my Cara, as it also has double finger choils. Or no, it has one finger choil and palm cutouts. But I could do the same thing. If you do want to do really heavy finesse work, as in you want to choke up and you want to, hold on to that blade, you can do that. You have no way of slipping off and hitting onto that blade. Or, I mean, you would literally have to like yank this knife out. You've got a secure grip, really. I mean, there's no way this is coming out in this really fine tuning work. The blade itself is 420 HG steel. The classic Buck Bose heat treated, which is awesome. So you get that same performance you get out of a lot of their other standard knife line. It's just a great steel to work with. So at least they have an amazing heat treater for Paul Bose, doing the heat treat on decent. Well, I guess it's a decent steel. But Paul Bose just puts it over the edge. So it's something I really enjoy. It is an 1/8 inch thick. That is, I mean, that's in the realm of a lot of the smaller fixed blade knives, like the SC Azula. I think that's an 1/8 inch thick. It's a beefy knife. Hollow ground, very light hollow grind, so it's almost a it's almost a flat grind, which is nice. So you're not going to have a very brittle edge. Excuse me, but you still get a really nice slicing ability with this knife, especially with this wedge, with this belly in the blade. A lot of cutting potential. The tip is also sharp, but it's still moderately thick and strong because of this thick blade stock. So you can do pretty much whatever you want with a strider with this knife. And that's something I really enjoy. I batoned with this. I've batoned. I've chopped through a couple 2x4s and not skinned, but cut up a bunch of logs. It was pretty good. This knife, it's like a strider. It's just a more moderately priced strider with materials going accordingly. When this was in production, it went for about $40-50. So, great knife, great bitter knife. They are no longer in production, obviously, but if you can get your hands on one, I would highly suggest it. The pocket clip actually is tip up on both both left and right hand sides. The thing I found was really interesting is that it comes with 2 sets of screws, not like a bag separately, but like it comes in the actual scale. So if you do lose some, you could use some from the other set and put it in, or you could just take a set out, keep them, and put the other set in. I think it's really nice because it limits how many holes are in there, because the steel liners are milled for just the pocket clip, which is kind of annoying. So if you want to clean that out, or if you want to keep gunk from getting in there, or to help keep it out of there, you keep the screws in there and it keeps it nice and tight. Plus it gives you a little bit extra grip on your pinky, which I found pretty cool. The liner lock it has a very early lockup on some, or it's kind of, depending on what stage you got it from. It's kind of like how with the Buck Vantage Pros, they had a lot of blade centering issues, how the blade center would be way off to the side. The blade centers, it's centered for the washers. You can see it's more to the right than the left, but it's because the left has a washer 2 or 3 times the size of the one on the right. So it's centered by the washers, not really center. I'm sorry, I'm getting off topic. Anyway, so the liner lock, mine is the really early lock. I mean, it's barely passing the edge, the beginning edge right here of the blade, and locking that in there. Versus some of the later ones that they said were fixed, which went all the way down and were already secured, which is a little ridiculous, a bit in the extremes, but that's what happened. The thing that I find really strange about this is the cutout they have for the tang here for the liner lock is actually double beveled. Normally, if you have a liner lock, you'll have a single bevel. So if this was the blade, like in the position I had it before, if it was horizontal like so, I'm imitating the blade. So this would be the angle of the tang. But the one on this 889, it's double beveled, so there's another one right here, and that liner lock is only hitting right on this edge, and that's the only thing that's holding it in there. I have had a couple ideas of just taking a small file and working on it down to bring it to the primary edge, since the secondary bevel is only about a 32nd big, wide, I suppose is what the term would be. So that's something I'm debating about modding my knife. I have not tried waving this. I'm actually, I want to try waving this. I want to see how that goes. Might be pretty interesting. The carry is not too deep. I mean, pretty much where I like it. I like having it stick out. I mean, it's nice to have it where it has a very deep pocket clip carry like the Vantage Pro, but when it's like this, sometimes I have trouble getting it out if I have cold hands or something, so I normally throw a lanyard on there, or I could just have it sticking out a little bit. That's my preference. I can have a lanyard and have it sticking out, and then it's perfect. Speaking of lanyards, the lanyard hole on here is actually only on one side. It's only on that side. The scale does not have it. So I think that's good for left-handers if you want to have a lanyard, because you could have paracord threaded through there. This is paracord without the inner strings, the inner nylon. You could have it threaded through there, have a simple overhand knot and melted on this side, and then you could have it just dangling down on the side, kind of like how I have my Vantage Pro set up, so that I don't have a rat tail hanging straight out and then curving around from the pocket. It sits right next to my pocket, which is a feature I really enjoy. Blade length on this, I know I'm jumping around. Blade length is 3 inches for cutting surface, 3.5 for the actual blade. That's because of this nice choil and the finger choil that they have cut out. Gives it that extra ½ inch. Just for comparison, I'm going to throw out my 110, since that is a very classic knife. There you go. Let's slide this over in screen. So there you get a view of the blade. Let's see if I can not cut myself. There we go. So it's pretty much the same size. Obviously the ergonomics are going to be different. They're going to be more Strider SMG version. So yeah. If you get the chance, I highly suggest it. It's an amazing beater knife, and even as a collector knife, I say go for it. It's just one of those cool collaborations between different companies that you don't see very often, or that they make such an amazing, brainchild, like the Lion Spy, Spyderco and Lion Steel are working on a collaboration right now. Same with Hinderer and Kershaw. It's either I think it is. Yeah, someone from Kershaw. It's someone in the Kai family from either ZT or Kershaw. Whoever does, it must be the designer of the ZT styles. Yeah, so they're doing a collaboration, and you'll learn about a lot of this stuff on Blade forums, which I highly recommend, or Jersey Devil, or Knife forums. Any of those three are like the major 3 forums I would check out. But anyway, I'm rambling. Last thing, just a couple signs that are on here, little insignias, buck on each scale, right there, imprinted on the FRN, and then has, get this, no, not really. Nope. Okay, well, in this little indentation it says SB4. I believe, don't take my word for it, but I believe that means Strider Buck number 4, because this is the 4th knife that they had. They originally had the 880, and then the 880 kind of looked like the A100 from Emerson, and was done in ATS 34 steel and 154 CM, and had like the higher end stuff. And then they had the 882 and the 887, and then finally 889. Don't ask me about the others. I don't know much about them. I just know the serial numbers on them. Anyway, so that, and if you get to see the insignia, it has Strider's logo right there, and then has the Buck logo right underneath it. So I thought it was pretty cool. Anyway, just wanted to show you a new knife, get a new review up there since it's been a whole week. And yeah. Oh, box that goes with it, one of the older Buck ones. Anyway, just wanted to show you that, and yeah, I think, oh, wait, yeah, here's a surprise. No, I'm kind of scatterbrained right now. Gerber, no, I know, Gerber, ew, right, Gerber S30D, look at that, yep. I'll post a video on this once I get this little baby rehandled and figure that out. I'll probably do a review on it. Alright guys, thanks a lot for stopping by. Have a nice day.